arrived at the Benin airport at about 10:30 this morning was received on arrival by the state governor, Comrade Adams Oshomole, and members of People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by the state chairman, Chief Dan Obi. Some citizens who spoke to NTA pointed out that the visit underscores the interest the president has for the state.
Shows clearly that Mr. President is interested in the Edo State.
And youth from the Northeast have passed a vote of confidence on President Goodluck Jonathan and support his re-election in 2015. Comrade Abdul Jalalu Dauda, Chairman, Forum of National Youth Council of Nigeria, made a declaration at the Northeast Presidential Youth Leaders Meeting hosted by Taraba State Government in Jalingo. Aliu Tukur compiled the report.
Given the solid foundation laid by the administration's transformation agenda in various sectors such as road, railway, maritime, agriculture and aviation among others, the Northeast youth pledged to support the administration to achieve more development in the country. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Jude Emagwe, who was at the meeting, said, "Government will not achieve much if Nigerians do not come together as one to combat challenges facing Nigerians."
We must, as people, as the future of this country, identify those things that unite us and stay away from the things that separate us. Understanding the fact that an injury to one is an injury to all.
Acting Governor Taraba State Garba Umar urged Nigerians, especially youth, to support government's effort towards ending insecurity in the country by imbibing the spirit of peaceful coexistence and being our brother's keeper.
We will remain your dependable partner in whatever noble venture you will embark on to further transform and accelerate the process of peace, progress and development in all parts of the country.
The meeting is aimed at creating understanding, harmony and purposeful leadership within various youth groups.
And still talking politics, a cross-section of Nigerian women have demanded continuity for the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan. The group says the only way to ensure this continuity is by re-electing the president in 2015. Ignatius Nkwo completes the report.
The Lean Women Association, made up of the Nigerian women from parts of the country. These women said President Goodluck Jonathan has an unfinished business with the Nigerian nation and therefore must come back in 2015 to complete it.
The transformation seen in the diverse sectors of our economy is simply phenomenal. The agricultural sector, the educational sector, the power sector, the automobile sector, the youth empowerment.
As your patron, that Mr. President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, deserves a second term.
For these women, Nigeria cannot afford to interrupt the chain of transformation going on in the economy, especially in the areas of youth and women empowerment. The women also commended Nigerian military in their ceaseless efforts towards national unity. In Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And allegations of imposition of candidates by certain government officials and lack of internal democracy were the major issues raised by delegates from Cross River State as they visited the People's Democratic Party South-South Integration Committee in Abuja. Chidimma Dubisi completes the report.
Issue of democracy within the party came up. I can say quite confidently that the party itself prides itself for being a democratic party within the party machineries.
Our meeting, as you can see, has been very smooth, and the reason is that we don't really have any issues that will warrant us throwing punches and writing petitions and castigating the party leadership in Delta State.
The party is strong and stable in Delta. I was very proud of Delta to know that Delta is at peace.
Health Minister makes case for infrastructure in the sector just as PDP aspirants indicate interest in Osun State against 2015. These and more with Vera in our Lagos Network Center. It's over to you.
Thank you, Hawa, and welcome to Lagos. The Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchichukwu, says public-private partnership option being exploited by the federal government is to provide appropriate infrastructure for the efficient health delivery system for Nigerians. The minister, represented by the Chief Medical Director, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Professor Aki Oshibogu, disclosed this at this year's UNILAG Research Conference in Lagos. Digido has the details.
The UNILAG Research Conference is an annual event which provides a platform for in-depth discussions and analysis of researches and studies carried out by various scholars and their applications to solve societal problems. This year, the focus is on health, infrastructure, and development. Pointing to the correlation between the three subjects, Health Minister, through his representative, says the essence of transformation agenda on health is to provide appropriate infrastructure to ensure healthy citizens that will develop the economy.
Infrastructure facilitates the production of goods and services and also the distribution of finished products to end users, as well as basic social services such as schools and hospitals.
The University of Lagos, in promoting research activities, has simplified the application process for its research grant and funding.
Research and Innovation Unit of the University of Lagos has recently taken off, aimed at intensifying research activities, coordinating multidisciplinary research projects, and facilitating access to research grants from international and local sources.
Research is very important, but we're not paying much attention to it. So this is a very critical event UNILAG is holding here today. And at the end of the day, we need to ensure that we use that research judiciously.
Presentations at this three-day conference cut across various disciplines, departments, and faculties, and will be published in the university journals. In Lagos, Dichido, NTA News.
The function of sending messages, mails, and parcels has remained one of the primary duties of the Nigerian Postal Service since its establishment in 1852, before the emergence of the Global System for Mobile Communication, GSM, in 2001. In this report, Musa Tolet takes a look at the mandate of NIPOST, its effects on GSM patronage, and the efforts being made by the Nigerian Postal Service to keep up with modern trend.
Among the services provided by the NIPOST are mail services, counter services, private mail bag, special delivery, and speed post courier services. With more than 20,000 employees manning the 5,000 post offices across the country, Nigerians over the years relied on NIPOST services to reach out to families, friends, and business associates.
I've just gone there to clear my post office box now, because there are things that you can still do via the post office.
When I have bulk documents, I send them through the post office.
However, the advent of GSM and the various possibilities that came with it in terms of sending short messages and receiving responses in quick time appear to have affected the operations of NIPOST.
I don't really use post office anyway. I do most of my things on the internet.
The text message has speed up they have given a fast information, but the conveyance of such item we still have to come back to the post.
Interestingly, it appears that the younger generation have difficulty identifying with the NIPOST services.
GSM and technology ICT, they have a lot of advantages over post office.
Observers say there is need for government to reposition the Nigeria Postal Service in tandem with realities of today. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Candidates vying for various political offices under the banner of the People's Democratic Party in the 2015 general elections have been collecting forms from the State Party Secretariat in Osogbo. Abolade Salami reports that the state chairman of the party assured aspirants of a level playing ground during the primaries. The report.
Presenting the letters of intent to Dr. Oluwole Oludaisi Aino,
State Party Chairman Gani Olaoluwa advised the aspirants to act in conformity with the PDP Electoral Guideline 2014 on primary election, which stipulates that rules of the party, either through conventions or primaries, must be obeyed. He added that the party will be transparent in the process by creating a level playing ground for all the aspirants. In his remarks, Dr. Oludaisi Aino, who is vying for the Osun State Central Senatorial Zone, said if given the mandate to serve in the upper legislative chamber, will focus more on community development and the creation of more jobs for youths in his zone.
I'm going to make a difference in the legislative process in the National Assembly, and I'm going to make sure that my people, the interests of my people, are not left behind.
Meanwhile, Chief Francis Faraunsi, who is vying for the Osun West senatorial seat, also collected the form of intent. The party is expected to hold the primary election for all the aspirants before the general election in February 2015. In Osogbo, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Osun State government has been commended for providing free train ride to transport holiday makers who are indigenes of Osun State back to their base in Lagos, suspending the Eid-el-Kabir holiday in their home state of Osun. Passengers who boarded the train ride back to Lagos gave the commendation at the Osun railway station before their departure. Abolade Salami again has more.
The returning passengers in their hundreds besieged the Osogbo railway station with their family members to board the free trains provided to convey them back to their base in Lagos, Oyo and Ogun states. Some of the passengers in their comments expressed appreciation to Osun State government for its kind assistance. They added that it made traveling to their home states during the festive periods easy and less expensive.
Sincerely speaking, without having anything in mind, this governor is best. And we thank him for doing this to help everything that we do.
Officials of the Osun State Ministry of Commerce, which facilitated the free train transportation on behalf of the state government, also commented.
People prefer to board the train than to go by road.
The free trains made 2 return trips from Osogbo to Lagos on Monday and Tuesday during the Eid-el-Kabir holiday. In Osogbo, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Hawa is back to you for more on Nationwide News.
Very well, Vera. The Treatment Research Group on the Ebola virus disease has so far identified and recommended to the federal government 3 experimental vaccines for further clinical evaluation, as well as a candidate treatment drug to improve management of the disease. This was revealed at the first high-level experts meeting on treatment and research for the Ebola virus disease and other infectious diseases in Nigeria. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah completes the report.
The Treatment Research Group, which is part of the national response to the Ebola virus disease, was inaugurated over a month ago to, among other things, carry out research into the treatment of the disease and receive claims to its treatment. The Treatment Research Group is said to have received 32 treatment claims, and they are all being evaluated.
These candidate vaccines or drugs will then be subjected to clinical trials. Phase 1, some have gone through phases 1 and 2. And then we will now go to phase 3 and 4.
Topics lined up for experts in Nigeria and in the diaspora, as well as the private sector, include the diagnosis and diagnostics for Ebola, treatment, prevention, as well as research and development.
Ebola virus research in this country must actually be carried out in a biosafety lab number 4, because even individuals that are working in such labs can be exposed, but it has the ability to contain it.
Already recommended as a committee that the NIMA lab in Lagos and NIPRID lab should be strengthened so that we can actually do more.
We also need to figure out how best we encourage research.
In view of the fact that health workers are the most vulnerable to the Ebola virus infection, Minister of Health Professor Onyebuchichukwu urged the experts to explore advanced ways of protecting them during outbreaks.
We have the resolve to explore all areas of research towards vaccine production and drug treatment. I'm also hopeful that the outcome of the deliberations here today lead to a clear roadmap for achieving success in treatment options for EVD.
The Ebola virus disease is one that has kept researchers the world over on their toes in the search for vaccine and treatment drugs. In Abuja, Rabi Abdullah, NTA News.
This is NTA Nationwide. We take some messages now. The news continues shortly.
You are good luck to Nigeria. Good luck, Jonathan. You are good luck to Nigeria. Oh, you are good luck to the people. Continue your good work. Nigerians support you.
Excuse me. What people are looking for in Sokoto, we are having Sokoto. Good luck are what every parent and wishes begin. In school, in business, in life. Everybody are looking for good luck. Every country are looking for good luck. In World Cup tournament, good luck. Or Louisa come back to life, good luck. The schools are now breaking all over to betterment the future of Almajiris. Good luck. Our universities are properly funded. Good luck. My dear brothers of the north, are you see what I am saying? Agriculture are now walk over. That 33 modern dams are ready for farmers. Good luck. Fertilizers are purchased for almost free of charge. FOC. I am talking of power supply. That power reform are make steady supply of light every daily. Let us thank God. Power good luck. Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for One Vision, Nigeria.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja-Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the Loko Oweto Bridge in the north-central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities and through its various training programs for young people guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
As a civil servant, he served Kano State government for 17 years. As a politician, his entry point was Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, later a member of the Constitutional Conference. As a leader of the masses, he started as a governor of the most populous state. As a trusted Nigerian, custodian and defender of Nigeria's unity and sovereignty, he served as defense minister for about 4 years, presidential advisor on Darfur and Somali. As a politician with true sense of justice and nationalism, he served on the board of NDDC. As a delegate fighter, politician of all seasons, he was re-elected as governor after after 8 years of first term. As a crusader for justice and fairness in politics, he led fellow governors to join a robust opposition party. As a detribalized Nigerian, he knows all the nooks and crannies of this country. As a global bridge builder, he has traversed all the continent of the world and interacted with political and military leaders in more than 50 countries. Indeed, Kwankwaso can be trusted to do more for Nigeria.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it, don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thanks for rejoining us. The Nigerian Navy says the combat readiness of its personnel is crucial considering the dynamic security situation in the country. To this end, routine training and retraining of its personnel is conducted annually with a view to enhancing and sharpening their proficiency in handling weapons. Defense correspondent KG Busari Ahmed completes the report.
Though the Nigerian Navy is statutorily empowered to protect the nation's maritime boundary and territorial integrity, it also engages in joint operations through internal security with sister services in troubled spots in the country. No wonder it keeps its personnel battle-ready at all times, especially in its war against maritime-related offences.
This is even more relevant nowadays when we consider the country's present security challenges, especially in the Northeast. Thus, there is a compelling need to emphasize and reinforce small arms training and exercises in naval personnel by organizing this type of competition.
This year's Nigerian Navy Small Arms Firing Competition, scheduled to hold at the 72 Special Forces Battalion, Nigerian Army Range in Makadi, is part of the service's continuous effort to meet the deployment dictates of the security challenge in the country. In Abuja, KG Busari Ahmed, NTA News.
Still talking security and in what could be termed a strategic move for decisive action to sharpen the operational administration of the force, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, has visited Borno and Adamawa states. This is expected to lead to conception of plans for many troubled areas of the country. Bonaventure Nwodu packaged the report.
It was the first visit of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, outside Abuja since assuming office as the 17th Indigenous Inspector General. Addressing officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force in Maiduguri and Yola, the IGP said the visit is to interact with his colleagues, encourage them, and address issues of welfare and coordinated strategies to stem violent crime.
Whatever belongs to you, I will not forget it.
The Acting Inspector General also visited the Shehu of Borno with a request from the Royal Father for increased protection for traditional rulers.
And in this 16 local government, I have 59 DCS. Out of these 59 DCS, almost 50 DCS are residing in Maiduguri.
Acting Inspector General Suleiman Abba also disclosed that more equipment for higher resource are being acquired. In Abuja, Bonaventure Nwodu, NTA News.
And to other matters now, Nigerians have been urged to stand in prayers of agreement for the peace and restoration of the Nigerian nation. Apostle Deborah Osagede of the Spirit and Life Ministries made the plea at a bi-monthly interdenominational All Mothers Prayer Watch in Abuja. Correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba completes the report.
Citing the scripture from the book of Isaiah and Romans, Mrs. Osagede reminded Christians that their faiths are essential so that the Spirit of God will put an end to insurgency in the country.
They need to take a stand for the nation. They need to call upon the name of the Lord. The Lord is very, concerned about mothers, and I know that the affection of motherhood, maternal affection, is one of the things that the Lord is using right now as a healing balm for our nation.
Apostle Godfrey Marizu and others stress that if prayers are offered continuously, God Almighty will forgive the nation and heal the land.
There's hope. This is a great nation, a great country, with a great plan in the mind of God for us.
As Christian women, we believe that it is God that can intervene in this matter.
Calling on women, calling on the children of God, men, women, children, youth, to rise up and call upon Him, because when we call upon Him, He intervenes.
The monthly interdenominational All Mothers Prayer Watch for Nigeria's Peace holds twice every month, beginning from this October. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Back to security matters, the police in Gombe State has reaffirmed its resolve to rid the state of all forms of crimes. The Commissioner of Police said this while parading some suspects.
7 suspects were paraded before newsmen. 3 of them were arrested in a tinted glass vehicle in possession of dangerous weapons concealed in posters of some politicians.
We are in that vehicle, and a large number of cutlasses and knives were found there, and with some posters and some chemical like that.
Another suspect, Hassan Sarakuna, was said to have burgled into his former school, Community High School Newer in Balanga local government, and carted away 40 sets of computer laptops. Other suspects, Jeremiah Stephen and Yahya Abubakar, are charged for armed robbery and conspiracy, aiding and abetting crime.
We are seeking for the cooperation of the good people of Gombe State, who have always been cooperating with us, giving us necessary information, and we have been collaborating with all segments of society to ensure that Gombe remains peaceful.
Police say after thorough investigation, the suspects will be charged to court. In Gombe, I am Talatu Lamon, NTA News.
Chairman Police Service Commission Mike Okiro has called on Nigerians, irrespective of religious, ethnic and political inclinations, to support the First Lady's Peace Initiative to ensure peace before, during and after the 2015 general elections. Mr. Okiro made the call when Mama Peace Ambassadors, a non-governmental organization, conferred on him the chairmanship of the NGO. Adino Justice has the details.
Peace ambassadors say they are mobilizing Nigerians for a violence-free 2015 election to avoid past experiences. The conferment of the chairmanship of the organization on Sir Mike Okiro, according to its national coordinator, Mike Omohimunwa, was a right choice.
I want to use this medium to call on all many Nigerians, especially terrorist groups, to lay down their arms and embrace peace for the interest of the nation.
Sir Mike Okiro, while expressing happiness to be identified with the First Lady's Peace Initiative, says there is no alternative to peace.
Wherever you are, you must show that peace must reign in Nigeria. We must work together to keep Nigeria afloat in the sea of trouble.
We are going to go in all the zones of this country, in the states, in the local governments, and even at the world level.
Mama Peace Ambassadors, an initiative to mobilize all segments of Nigerians for peaceful conduct before, during and after election, came into existence about 5 months ago. Edina Justice, NTA News.
The people of Alu in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State have resolved to mobilize massively for the realization of President Goodluck Jonathan's re-election project. Alu people said this at a grand reception for the Minister of State for Education, Nyesom Wiki. Kingsley Amajiri completes the report.
The siting of Unity School at Mbodo Town, Alo, and the appointment of Professor Simeon Achinehu into the board of the Nigerian University Commission, NUC, are a source of delight to the people of Alo community, coming from the federal government. The People's Democratic Party PDP leaders, elders, and chiefs are happy with the positive transformation that President Goodluck Jonathan's administration is implementing, restating their support for his re-election in 2015.
Now that those we can do, we know that human beings mean a lot in politics.
Alo Council of Chiefs further bestowed the Dimba Obudu Alo on Chief Wike, stressing that he is an achiever that should be encouraged to lead the state. Chief Wike tasked the people to ensure that they participate actively in the forthcoming election to demonstrate that the PDP is a party to beat in the polls.
The only thing you should do is to keep your voters card and come to the show your anger. That this is my voters card, I must make sure that PDP does not do that in Nigeria.
Chief Wike later received some members of the All Progressives Congress AP who defected to join the PDP in Alo community. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Sincerely apologize for the bad audio in some portions of that report. And back to our earlier reports, allegations of imposition of candidates by certain government officials and lack of internal democracy were the major issues raised by delegates from Cross River State as they visited the People's Democratic Party South Integration Committee in Abuja. Chidimma Ndubisi reports that this also includes the interactive session with party stalwarts from that geopolitical zone.
On this final day of the People's Democratic Party PDP South Integration Committee sitting, Cross River and Bayelsa states were due to visit, but nobody from Bayelsa State showed up because, as we were told, there are no contentions within the party in the state. After deliberations behind closed doors, delegates from Cross River State narrated the issues they tabled before the committee.
All is not well in Cross River State because as we speak, they are there writing lists of ad hoc delegates. We've told them they want to make sure that those ad hoc delegates are put in there, and we've told them, let us go back to the field if they're not scared and compete like we've been doing.
I expect the committee to do justice by the terms of their reference.
We do believe that they will find what we have said true and that they will intervene proactively.
The committee chairman itemized the next line of action.
I can assure you that we will make appropriate recommendations, and in those recommendations, definitely I don't think we will condone suppression or some imposition. We'll make sure that there's a level playing field.
The committee also cleared issues on allegations that it has been compromised following the rancor that ensued when River State delegates came visiting.
I would like to assure you that there is no way, with the quality of the people on this committee, that anybody can compromise us.
Everybody who presented memo and who turned up here yesterday, all of them were allowed to speak to this committee.
The committee was set up by the party's National Working Committee to broker peace among party members. In Abuja, Chimdemma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Christian Association of Nigeria appeals to Kaduna State government to improve security in the southern parts of the state. Tina in a Kaduna Network Center will now guide us on this and more. Good afternoon, Tina.
Hello, Hawa, and welcome to Kaduna. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN Zone 3, Kaduna State, has called on the state government to look into the issue of security and development projects in the southern part of the state. The association stated this during a news conference on happenings in the zone. Correspondent Muhammad Abubakar reports.
The briefing is coming on the heels of the continued violent conflict in the southern part of the state. The chairman, Reverend Hosa Gwaza, stated that security in southern Kaduna has continued to deteriorate, with thousands of lives and property lost in Sanga and Kaura local governments, alleging that the area is neglected by the government.
The state government has continued to pay lip service to the agricultural sector that will guarantee the economic growth of the state.
Then chairman of Sanga, Kaura and Kache local governments who spoke at the meeting stressed the need to resettle over 700 people in Atakar, Bundung and Sanga, among others.
I
also want to call on government to come to the aid of people of Sanga. Attacks, silent killing are still going on.
Most of our people from the Atakar area are displaced. Over 700 people right now from Atakar, Chiefdom alone, are displaced. They are no more in their home.
Zonal Ken Secretary Reverend Jesse Malam, who spoke to NTA News, stressed the association's support to government's policies and commitment to its members in southern Kaduna.
Even though we know that the people have been trying to live together, we still want to feel the impact of the government towards security.
In Kaduna, Muhammad Abubakar, NTA News.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists and National Union of Printing, Publishing and Paper Products Workers of the New Nigerian Newspapers have called on the federal government to intervene and salvage the company from collapse. The union stated this at a news conference in Kaduna to press for the payment of their unsettled entitlements. Correspondent Indiang and Diabagyang completes this report.
Since the federal government handed over the New Nigerian Newspapers to the 19 northern states in 2006, the company has been faced with a myriad of problems, hindering it from operating at optimal capacity. The situation resulted to several strikes by the workers demanding for their entitlement. This, the workers said, negates the vision of its founding father, who sees truth as the greatest weapon. With various inscriptions to press home their demands, the union is calling on the governors of the 19 northern states to act urgently, as their action and inactions have led to the death of some of the workers and inability to meet their basic needs.
The deplorable state of the company is an aberration of the forthright of the founding father's legacy. The situation in the company is nowhere near their southern counterparts. Therefore, the workers are calling on northern governors to buckle up and reposition the company.
Reacting to the conference, the acting managing director of the New Nigerian Newspapers, Bala Muhammad, debunked the allegations of non-payment of entitlement by the joint union.
The truth of the matter is that the management of the New Nigerian has carried along the workers right from the time they embarked on their ill-informed and ill-timed strike. It's not true that there was any treatment of anybody. Indeed, this management is the only management that had made effort towards paying workers while they are on strike.
He further said management of the company has made recommendations towards repositioning the newspapers and awaiting the response of the government of the 19 northern states owners of the company. In Kaduna, I am Indenyan and Diabagyang, NTA News.
That is our contribution from Kaduna. It's back to Hawa for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Tina. Meanwhile, Chairman, Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has called on aggrieved staff of the New Nigerian Newspapers to exercise patience as a solution is expected soon. Governor Aliyu, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Israel Ebije, expressed optimism that the challenges faced by the organization will soon be resolved. He said it is the wish of northern governors to have the new Nigeria bounce back, as it is one of the legacies of the late Sir Ahmadu Bello. The forum is therefore doing its best to ensure that it remains on the newsstand. And the need for Muslims to emulate the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by championing the bond of unity was the focus of today's Friday sermon at the Apo Legislative Quarters Mosque, Abuja. Abdullahi Garba bringing Kudu completes the report.
Quoting from the Hadith and the Holy Quran, Imam Abdullahi Adamu Funtua reminded Muslims on the place of unity in building the religion and a decent society. This, is added, would only be possible by good neighborliness, showing love, respect, and care to each other.
Muslims, you have to unite and follow the guidance of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, like he said in one of the hadiths, the Muslim to his brother Muslim like a building, like one building. If some part of the building break, the other must follow him to fall down.
Being a multi-religious society, the Imam recalled the period when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived peacefully with other religious followers and urged all to emulate.
You find yourself maybe left and right, not a religion. So you have to talk with them. Maybe if you get something, buy something for them as a Muslim. Say, okay, this is what my religion is commanding. Islam is for all mankind. It's not for only the followers.
Today is the 16th day of Zulhajj in the Islamic calendar. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brunokudu, NTA News.
A one-day national validation meeting on guidelines for promotion and response for intervention on gender-based violence in the northeast and other parts of Nigeria has ended in Abuja, with a view to bringing to conclusion all ongoing consultative and inclusive processes. Timothy Yusuf reports that the meeting was organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development.
Ongoing consultative and inclusive processes towards the development of the National Intervention Plan for the treatment and support for survivors of insurgents, especially women and girls in Nigeria, became an imperative as stakeholders say act of terrorism is alien to Nigeria and Nigerians. It is for this reason that the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, given its strategic mandate, conceived a program of intervention for the treatment and support for survivors. This is in collaboration with some development partners.
We are looking at enduring guidelines and strategies that will involve services towards the complete rehabilitation of those affected.
Ending the scourge of gender-based violence is imperative for the achievement of the internationally agreed development goals, including the Millennium Development Goals, the MDG.
Participants at the meeting expressed the hope that the anticipated guidelines will address issues of unskilled organizations providing relief services to victims of violence.
Normally when things happen, it will force us to sit up and make maybe laws or guidelines or rules.
Our take is that whatever guideline the ministry, who is our own supervisory ministry, is able to come up with in collaboration with other stakeholders will be taken very seriously.
It is hoped that the meeting will come up with a balanced response and intervention guidelines that will include a referral section and serve as a standard for long-term service delivery. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And it is estimated that at least 29 million Nigerians are at the risk of contracting the Lassa virus in the country. Correspondent Basi Ita Ikban reports that the Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chiku, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja as the nation prepares to celebrate the National Lassa Day.
Lassa fever is a disease that affects human body. It is caused by rats with many breasts. Signs and symptoms of the disease appear 1 to 21 days after contact with the virus. Experts identify lack of adequate sensitization as one of the reasons for the spread of Lassa virus in Nigeria. This is the reason the federal government, through the Ministry of Health, approved a day as the National Lassa Fever Day to create awareness on the risk and impact of the disease.
Each year we are confronted with outbreak of Lassa fever in several parts of the country with increasing magnitude and intensity. Risk factors for Lassa fever remain inability of the public to recognize the disease in its means of transmission to others. Of course, the lack of very high index of suspicion among our health workers.
Please remember, keep away from animals you are not sure of. Keep your environment clean so that rats don't run in, run out, and make sure that you eat healthy food. Primarily, keep clean.
The occasion was used to educate journalists on the need for proper sensitization on the causes, prevention, impact, management, and cure of Lassa fever. The theme for this year's celebration is Lassa fever, a killer disease, engaging community for prevention with the slogan, avoid rats, avoid Lassa fever.
And stakeholders at the second Made in Aba Trade Fair organized in Abuja want Nigerians to patronize indigenous products to complement efforts of the federal government in repositioning local industries for job creation and wealth generation. Correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the event was facilitated by the senator representing Abia South Senatorial District, Eyinaya Abaribi.
Some of the products exhibited include clothes, cotton, leather, rubber, and pharmaceutical products. Stakeholders in the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, described the indigenous products as national pride and urged Nigerians for more patronage.
The best way to make them to meet standards is to patronize them.
The earlier Nigerians begin to appreciate this fact and key into entrepreneurship development, the better for all of us.
Senate President, represented by Senator Bashir Mohammed, Abia State Governor's representative, and some members of the National Assembly assured manufacturers of government commitment to providing enabling environment for the growth and development of indigenous industries.
My administration has continued to provide the enabling environment and necessary facilities for business to thrive.
Some of the manufacturers pointed inadequate funds, infrastructure, and negative attitude of some Nigerians towards indigenous brand as major challenges facing the local industry. In Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu has lamented the current drumbeat of alarm over a purported imminent demise of the nation, saying Nigeria is destined to be permanent and indestructible. Senator Ekweremadu stated these while giving his perspective on key governance issues in Nigeria at the 54th Founders Day lecture of the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. National Assembly correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Deputy Senate President, who spoke extensively on the state of the nation and the best way forward, maintained that the political stability and development of Nigeria will never be destroyed by the ill will of any person or group of persons. He said although Nigeria continually faces complicated issues that tax existing institutions and processes, most of the challenges can be resolved through democratic process. Senator Ekweremadu therefore called on Nigerians to engage in what he calls good faith discussions towards developing pragmatic reforms that will reinvigorate the nation's democracy for a better, safer, and more prosperous nation.
By the wisdom, tenacity, and commitment of all of us, Nigeria will be better. And there's no doubt in my mind that this country will be better. I urge you all to participate in this eminently desirable task of building Nigeria of our dream.
The Deputy Senate President made a case for improved educational system, the NYSC scheme and judicial reforms, decentralized police force, as well as the adoption of the 6 geopolitical zones as federating units. The Vice-Chancellor, University of Nigeria Nsukka, Professor Chukwuma Ozumba, and other speakers described the propositions by the Deputy Senate President as thought-provoking, highly enriching, and worthy of attention.
And I think the challenge of this country is to go for the impossible. If we continue to do what we are used to, we are not going to make any progress.
It is time for Nigeria to have a database. That database affords even your eyeball to be able to detect that this is who this person is.
INEC itself needs to be reformed, reoriented to carry out the mandate fearlessly and independently. Amen.
The bottom line of Senator Ekweremadu's perspective on key governance issues in Nigeria is the expression of optimism about the future of the country. With prevailing challenges confronting Nigeria seem to be dissipating, the lecture concludes that the most glorious chapters in the nation's history are yet to be written. From University of Nigeria Nsukka, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thanks, Adamu. Sports now. Nigeria's Super Eagles in high spirit ahead of Saturday's Make or Mar 2015 AFCON qualifier against Sudan as Nigeria Football Federation charts new course of development. Kene Imagbodike tells us more on sports update.
Reigning African champions Nigeria Super Eagles are one of the teams in third-round hostilities for tickets to the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations being decided this weekend across the continent. The Eagles, who arrived Sudan Friday ahead of Saturday's encounter, are faced with a make-or-mar situation, having gathered just 1 point in Group A after 1 loss and 1 draw against Congo and South Africa. Cape Verde travelled to Mozambique looking for the win that could place them on the path to their first-ever appearance, while Algeria know that a win against Malawi will ensure their qualification to the tournament. The Nigeria Football Federation has embarked on measures to ensure that best international standards are maintained in the administration of the sport in the country. Board member Emeka Inyama says the federation is geared towards charting a new course.
We're also trying to package a corporate Nigerian program that will bring back the confidence into Nigerian football vis-a-vis having sponsors to come on board.
Sports development in Akwa Ibom State is to receive a boost as the Olympic-sized stadium complex in Oyo, the state capital, will soon be ready to host sporting activities. Commissioner for Sports in the state, Mande Uko, who conducted journalists around the 30,000 capacity complex, said sports and youth development remains paramount in the state's agenda.
Before today, we never knew what stadium is supposed to look like. So I will encourage, and I will keep even encouraging the Akwa Ibom State government to continue to do the mini stadium around the entire state so that we can continue to improve on sporting facility in the state.
Belgium's 2012 Ryder Cup player Nicolas Corsat came within millimeters of becoming the first man to shoot a sub-60 round in the 42-year history of the European Tour during his opening round in day 1 of the ongoing 2014 Portugal Masters at the Oceanico Victoria Golf Club. The 31-year-old missed a 20-foot birdie putt at the 18th hole to miss out by 1 stroke. The winner of the tournament will emerge on Sunday. With Sports Update, Kenai Imabodike, NTA News.
And just before we leave you, it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that's Nationwide this Friday. We thank you for being part of it. Join us at 7 and 9 for more reports. Good evening.